All right, folks, the juror in seat number 54, Whitney Burke, is a local defense lawyer that's known to me. I'm sure she's known to the state. Mr. Marrero, I assume you know her also. Whitney Burke. Becoming concerned about your hearing, Mr. Marrero. Whitney Burke. Yeah. So all of us know her. You know her?
It's actually a he. You're thinking of Whitney Bone.
Bowen, yeah. I'm sorry. Whitney Burke is a he, but I know him too.
So do I, and the state would move based upon his status as criminal defense counsel.
Okay. Hold on.
Based upon his status as criminal defense counsel locally.
Whitney Burke is the juror in seat 54. He's a criminal defense lawyer here in town, known to the state, Mr. Marrero on the defense, and the court. State's moving for cause based on his status as criminal defense counsel. Response? No objection? All right. You can leave Mr. Burke off. Thanks. Yep. All right, folks, I've just received an email that we are on the record on State versus Loyd. He's present with his attorneys, and the state attorney's office is present. He was present during the discussion about juror 54. I've received an email from jury services. The email reads as follows. Good morning. The below juror is an attorney, and while we were calling them to form the line to go upstairs, he asked in a loud tone if this was a death penalty case, period. The jury assistant advised the deputy of that situation and told the juror to not. It ends right there. It's juror number 54. Thank you, and it's signed by jury services. That juror's been excused. I am going to tell the jury that it's a death penalty case, so I don't see any prejudice, but either side have a motion? Nope.
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Everyone, please stand. Raise your right hand. Face the clerk and answer out loud. Do each of you solemnly swear that you will answer truthfully all questions asked of you as pertains to your
All right, have a seat, everyone. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Judge Marquez. I'm the presiding judge in this trial. Can everyone hear me? No? Can you hear me now? Yeah. All right. For the record, I'm removing the mask since the jurors cannot hear me. Is there anyone who's still having trouble hearing me and needs a hearing aid? I'm not seeing any paddles. All right. Welcome to criminal court. You're here for jury selection. I'm going to explain to you the process of jury selection in this case in just a minute. Let me go over some preliminary matters with you first. As you can see, there's a camera in the courtroom. There will be media presence throughout this trial and this case. Don't worry about it. Just ignore it. They do not film jurors. They don't show jurors' faces, and we don't use your names. Those paddles that you have, they have your seat numbers on them. We use those for two reasons. Number one, it helps preserve your privacy. We refer to you by your seat number. And number two, it's easier for us, there's 60 of you in the courtroom, to figure out who's answering the question. So hold your paddles up when you answer so we know which juror seat number you are. Let me introduce everyone in the courtroom to you and tell you what it is we do and find out if you know any of us. Like as I said, I'm Judge Marquez, I'm the presiding judge in this trial. It's my job to make sure that the law is followed in this case. I instruct the jurors on what the law is at each stage of the proceedings. And additionally, I rule on the objections during trial. I rule on what evidence is admissible. Is there anyone here who recognizes me or knows me from somewhere? I don't see any paddles. The two ladies in front of me are the court clerks. They handle all the evidence, the documents, the paperwork that is generated during these trials. Is there anyone here who recognizes or knows either of these two ladies? I don't see any paddles. The folks in uniforms around the courtroom, they're court security. They're here every day in every courtroom and throughout the courthouse in Orange County. They're members of the Orange County Sheriff's Department. They provide courthouse security, courtroom security, and they also are your liaison to me during your jury service. If you have any questions or issues, let the deputies know that we haven't discussed in court. Let the deputies know and they'll let me know. Is there anyone here who recognizes or knows any of these deputies? I'm not seeing any paddles. All right. The lady in the front typing away with the flowered shirt, she's our court reporter. It's her job to take down every word that is said in this courtroom. We must have complete transcripts of what occurs during trials, and she provides that for us. You're going to make her life so much easier if you speak up when you're answering questions. Folks hate speaking in public. It's the #1 fear that everyone has. And as an extra special treat today, we're going to be handing you a microphone because the acoustics in this courtroom are horrible and we can't hear you without the microphone, which makes people even more uncomfortable. But I need you to speak up so that she can hear you and all of us can hear you. You also need to use words when you're answering questions. And by that, I mean, there are certain habits we all have. We all shake our heads in response to simple questions. She can't take that down. And we all use the following phrases pretty frequently, actually. Uh-huh, mm-hmm, uh-uh. None of that makes any sense when you're trying to read it on a piece of paper. You don't know whether it's yes, no, maybe. So that's what I mean by use words. Is there anyone here who knows or recognizes our court reporter? I'm not seeing any paddles. The gentleman to my right, representing the state of Florida, if you'll introduce yourselves and read your witness list, please.
Good morning, Rich Buckman, the state of Florida.
Morning. My name is Brian Williams, and Mr. Buxton and I are the assigned state attorney to prosecute this case. Following list of people may be called as witnesses in this trial. Dominique Daniels, Detective Brian Savelli of the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Timothy Stevens, Takeshia Bryant, Julia Johnson, Monica Pridgen, Patricia Monahan, Sean Williams of the Orlando Police Department, Detective Pete Gatis of the Orlando Police Department, Officer Brandon Thornton of the Orlando Police Department, Captain Joseph Carter, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Antoine Thomas, Peter Patrick, Stacy Monroe, Orlando Police Department, Robert Roberts, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Officer Paul Foster, Orlando Police Department, Deputy Chuck Ashworth, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Cleveland Jenkins, United States Marshal Service, Dr. Joshua Stephanie, Office of the Medical Examiner, Chantel Steyer, Orlando Police Department, Karen Livengood, Orlando Police Department, Detective Shane Overfield, Orlando Police Department, Darlene Dunn, Edward Vanderberg, Orlando Police Department, Gary Crosby, Orlando Police Department, Sean Johnson, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Andrew Harrison, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Dr. Sarah Zadovich, Office of the Medical Examiner, Richard Ruth, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Tracy Anderson, Officer Jonathan Cute, Orlando Police Department, Ronald Stewart, Dr. Michael Gamache, Detective Adam Crudo, Orlando Police Department, Dr. Michael Mayer, Marianne Mitchell, Deputy Rachel Ward, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Dr. Tanya Werner, Todd Erb, Earl Stokes, Ronald Stewart, David Kennard, DeCarlos Shepard, Howard Kuhn, Orlando Police Department, Theophilus Edwards, Brian Stribby, Ronald Guerrero, Latoria Washington, Francine Thomas, Tammy Hughes, Dorothy Patterson, Tanya Cowan, Regina Hill, Dr. Robert Buck, Tamara Coker, Jim DePalma, Dr. Emily Lazaro, Rodney Lamond, Dr. Jeffrey Nagan, Dr. Jacqueline Olander, Dr. Greg Pritchard, Tony Rowland, Dr. Joseph Sesta, and Kevin Whitmore.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Does anyone on the panel recognize Mr. Buxman, Mr. Williams, or any of the names of the witnesses that were read out? Juror in seat number 15. Yes, ma'am. Who do you recognize? Hold on, we're going to pass you that mic.
Good morning, everyone. Looking for a clarification on the name Tracy Anderson. Is there an occupation with that?
She works for the Office of the Court Reporter here in the courthouse.
Court reporter here in the
I
courthouse.
do not.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? All right, thank you. To my left are the folks representing the defense in this case. Mr. Lenneman, your team and the witness list, please.
Yes, Judge. Good morning. My name is Terry Lenneman, along with Allison Miller, Ted Marrero, and Kate O'Shea. We represent Mr. Markeith Loyd. The witnesses are Patricia Loyd, Dana Loyd, Tanya Loyd, Odell Jones, Kiana Loyd, Damian Moton, Derek Harris, Eric Dorsey, Glenn McCree, Lorraine Harp, Jackie McCree, Jerona Lloyd, Jesse McCree, Shanika Bush, Trinika Hobbs, Tyrone Wesley, Pat McKenna, Dan Doski, John Sawicki, Anna Cox, Dr. Jethro Toomer, Dr. Marvin Dunn, Dr. Michael Mayer, Dr. Joseph Wu, Dr. Jeffrey Colino, Dr. James Campbell, Dr. William Anderson.
Thank you. Does anyone recognize Mr. Lenneman, Ms. O'Shea, Ms. Miller, or Mr. Marrero, or any of the witnesses whose names were read out? All right. By a show of paddles, does anyone recognize Mr. Loyd? Okay, thank you. You can put your paddles down. All right, folks. As I said, this is a criminal case. This is a death penalty case. And by that, I mean that if Mr. Loyd is convicted of one of the charges against him, which is first-degree murder, the death penalty is a possible sentence in this case. There are no automatic death sentences in the state of Florida. It only means it would become a possible sentence in the case. Because of the fact that the death penalty is a possibility in this case, we conduct jury selection differently than we do in other cases. So today is day one of jury selection. I'm going to be asking all the questions with maybe one or two exceptions, I don't know, but we're just going to be narrowing the pool down to folks who need to come back for individual questioning. I know you all probably have more information to give me than what I'm going to ask you today, but you're just going to have to trust the process. I'm going to get the basic information from you today. And then if you are returning, I will assign you a date and time to come back, a specific date and time, so that you're not just sitting around waiting all the time. Before I start, I have an instruction for you all, and this is not a request, folks. This is a court order. And it is this: from this point forward, until I discharge you as a juror in this case, you are not to consume any media about this case. TV, newspaper, the internet, Facebook, Instagram, nothing. You are not to talk to anyone about this case. That includes spouses, children, parents, friends, coworkers. I mean no one. And if anyone attempts to talk to you about this case, you are to tell them you cannot engage in this conversation and walk away. Do not violate this order. I will sanction any juror who violates this order. And let me tell you why this order is in place and why we're so adamant about this. It is fundamental to our system of justice that everyone has a chance to know, and everyone means both the state and the defense. Everyone has a chance to know what information the jury is basing their decision on. If you're outside this courtroom getting information from the news, from your friends, from Facebook, first of all, some of that information may be completely wrong. Secondly, some of it may not be admissible. In other words, our laws do not allow it to be used to determine whether someone has committed a crime or not. And it's just fundamentally unfair for a juror to be sitting in a jury room making decisions about a case using information that no one in this courtroom has had a chance to vet, challenge, present explanation, present the other side. It's un-American, it's unfair, don't do it. That is why you are ordered. You're now in a cone of silence as to this case, all right? Moving on, this case is expected to take 2 to 3 weeks to try once we pick a jury. How long the process of jury selection is going to take, I have an educated guess, but I'm not going to tell you because if I'm wrong, then everyone will say, but you told me it was going to be this long. So it's 2 to 3 weeks once we pick the jury. The jury in this case is being sequestered. That means you're going to get to go to a nice hotel every day after court. You will not be able to go home. Your meals will be provided, 3 meals a day. Someone's going to cook for you. They're going to clean up for you after those meals. Someone's going to change your sheets, clean your hotel room, make your bed. You each get your own room. You don't have to share a room with anyone. You are allowed to bring your electronics like computers, phones and all that. The deputies who are with you the entire time you're in sequestration take custody of those. But after we're done for the day in court, you can Zoom call with your family, your friends. You can go online to answer emails for work. You can do your schoolwork if you're a student. You can do work if you're, if you can do it over the internet and you want to. What you cannot do is look up anything about this case. And the deputies will be in the rooms with you. There'll be a specific place you go to do all of this. The deputies will be there with you to make sure that no one from your family is trying to send you an email expressing to you how they think you should vote on this case or what they think you should be doing. The deputies are there to watch all of that, but you're not completely cut off from the world. We do make allowances for your family, your close family, to come see you. That includes children, parents, spouses, partners. It's not as bad as it sounds initially, all right? But you do need to have that information for the questions that I'm going to be asking you today. All right. Let me start with, and I'm going to do this by rows just because there's so many of you here. Starting with the jurors in seats 1 through 7, this first row right here to my left. Is there anyone whose employer does not pay them for being on a jury? If they are, raise your paddles, please. All right, we're going to pass the mics to you because I have to ask you the question. I know you're all going to know the question by the second juror, but you have to wait till I ask it for the record. Ma'am, juror in seat number 4, do you get paid if you're on jury duty?
No,
And can you pay your bills if you're not being paid?
I think so.
I'm sorry?
I hope so.
You hope so? No. Do you know? Is it going to be a financial hardship for you?
I think I'll be okay.
All right, thank you. Juror in seat number 5. Sir, do you get paid by your employer if you're here?
No.
Can you pay your bills if you're not getting paid?
Yes.
You can? All right. Thank you. Anyone else in that row? Jurors in seat 8 through 15, anyone whose employer does not pay them? Juror in seat number 8, yes, ma'am. Do you get paid if you're here?
No, ma'am.
Can you pay your bills if you're not working?
No.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Juror in seat number 11, can you pay your bills?
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
actually know
Can
if
you
they-
get paid? Sorry.
I don't know, but I can.
Not sure? Okay.
I'll be fine if not.
But you can pay, if you can pay your bills if you're not paid? All right. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else in that row? Jurors in seat, this side of the courtroom, 16 through 22. Anyone who does not get paid? Juror, you got to raise those paddles up so I can see it. 19, please. Yes, ma'am.
I do not.
Can you pay your bills?
No, I cannot.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else that I didn't see their paddle? All right, jurors in seats 23 through, oh, I'm sorry. Who? Seat 6. Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, but I need somebody translate for me.
I can't hear a word she's saying.
She needs a translator.
Oh, she can't understand. You don't speak English? Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
All right, jurors in seats 23 through 30, anyone whose employer does not pay them. Juror in seat 23. Yes, ma'am. Do you get paid?
No.
Can you pay your bills?
No.
All right, thank you. Pass it down to the next person, who is juror in seat 24. Yes, yes, sir. Do you get paid?
No, ma'am.
Can you pay your bills if you're
No,
not being
ma'am.
paid? You cannot? All right, thank you. Next is juror in seat 26, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. You cannot get paid, you don't get paid? And can you pay your bills? All right, thank you. Anybody else? Juror in seat number 30. Do you get paid, ma'am?
No.
Can you pay your bills?
No.
Thank you. Anybody else in that row? Jurors in seats 31 through 37, anyone whose employer does not pay them. Juror in seat 35. Yes, sir. Do you get paid?
I don't.
And can you pay your bills if you're not getting paid?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Jurors in seat 38 through 45, anyone whose employer does not pay them. Juror in seat 43. Okay. Yes, sir. Do you get paid?
No.
Can you pay your bills if you're not getting paid? Thank you. And then juror in seat 38. Is there anyone else on that end of the row? No. 38, please. Do you get paid, sir?
No, I do not.
And can you pay your bills?
No, I cannot.
Thank you. Jurors in seats 46 through 52. Anyone whose employer does not pay them. All right, juror in seat 47. Do you get paid to be here?
No, I do not.
Can you pay your bills if you're not being paid?
Yes, I can.
You can?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Juror in seat 49. Do you get paid if you're here? I can't hear you, ma'am.
No, I don't.
And can you pay your bills?
No.
Thank you. Juror in seat 51. Do you get paid to be here?
No, I do not.
Can you pay your bills?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Jurors in seats 53 through 60, anyone whose employer does not pay them. All right, juror in seat 58. Do you get paid, ma'am?
No.
Can you pay your bills?
Yes.
You can? All right. All right, juror in seat 59. Do you get paid, ma'am?
No.
And can you pay your bills?
No.
Thank you. By the way, I should have clarified, that question includes anyone who's self-employed and will have no income during this trial. Is there anyone that I haven't talked to who qualifies under that? Nope. Okay. All right. Juror in seat number 6, I know she has problems understanding English. Anyone else who has problems with the English language and is having trouble understanding? Juror in seat number 12. Good morning, ma'am. How much English do you understand? Okay, I can't hear you. You got it. The mic has to be up by your mouth and tilted a little bit. Go ahead.
The English is my second language, so I think it's not fair if I don't understand perfectly.
All right, is there a part of what we're saying that you don't understand?
I do understand what you're saying, but sometimes, there is a word I don't understand.
Okay. Starting from 1% to 100%, how much English do you understand?
Like 95.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Juror in seat number 7. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I have my second language. is
Mic has to be in front of your mouth. Okay, go ahead.
So I understand everything, but it's when I go, sometimes I have trouble, but I understand.
But you understand everything. All right. The only time as a juror, there's 2 times as a juror that you have to talk: during answering questions and when you're back in the jury room with your fellow jurors at the end of the case discussing your verdicts. All right. Do you believe that you would be able to do those 2 things?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else who has trouble with English? Juror in seat 33. Yes, sir. How much?
I understand that.
Okay, that is not the juror in seat 33. You are the juror in what seat? I'm sorry. Okay, 33.
Can you hear me?
How much English do you understand?
60%.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I guess it's the lady next to you, juror in seat 34. Yes, ma'am. How much English do you understand?
70,
70%?
yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? All right, does anyone have, and I'm going to do this again by numbers, but this is the question, child care or care of a dependent person issues, and that includes anyone who's caring for adult parents. So, starting with jurors in seat 1 through 7, child care or dependent person. Anybody who has that issue? Juror in seat number 1. Yes, ma'am.
I have a mother that I'm responsible for.
How old is she, ma'am?
83.
83. And if you were unable to take care of her, who would do it?
My brother.
Okay. Are you her primary caretaker?
We split it.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else in that row? Jurors in seats 8 through 15, childcare or dependent? Juror in seat number 8. Yes, ma'am.
I had to take my daughter.
You got to put the mic up like this. Okay. There you go.
I have to take my daughter and pick her up from school every day, and she has a psychiatrist.
How old is she?
6.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Juror in seat number 9. Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and wife and grandmother can help out, but difficult to organize all that in my absence.
So if you were picked for the jury, would your wife and you said your mom or her mom would be able to help out?
Yes, they would be able to help out, and we would have to figure something out. It'd just be very difficult with my wife working and my daughter's grandmother working and everything. It would be very, very difficult, but I'm sure we'd have to figure something out.
Okay, thank you. Juror in seat number 13. Yes, ma'am.
My husband travels for work during
You
the
have
week.
what?
He travels for work, and I have 2 teenage boys at home,
How old are they?
15 and 17.
I take it you don't feel safe leaving them alone.
Well, teenage boys, opportunity for trouble.
Do you have anyone else who could stay with them while your husband was traveling?
Possibly, yes. Grandparents, yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else in that row? Juror in seat number 12. Yes, ma'am.
And my husband have like 4 strokes.
You got to keep the mic up next to your mouth. Go ahead.
It depends on work, but I also take care of him.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else in that row? All right, jurors seats 16 through 22. Child care or dependent issues. Not seeing any paddles. Seats 23 through 30. Child care or dependent issues. Nope. All right, seats 31 through 37. Jurors in seat 31. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I homeschool my kids, so when my husband's at work.
How many children do you have?
2,
How old?
7 and 8.
And if you weren't homeschooling them, what would happen?
I mean, my parents are local, so they could go with them. They just wouldn't school them.
They would just be missing school?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Seat number 32. Yes, sir.
I have a newborn at home who's a little over a month old.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Little boy or little girl?
Little girl.
What are your child care responsibilities with her?
It's me and my wife.
Is there anybody that can take your place that can help your wife out if you're not there?
Not really, no.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in that room? All right, seats 38 through 45, child care or dependent care. I don't see anyone. Seats 46 through 52, child care or dependent care. Seat number 49, yes, ma'am. I can't hear you, ma'am. You've got to tip that microphone. Okay. Go ahead. I can't hear her. She's extremely soft-spoken, yeah.
Thank you. I have a 5-year-old.
Okay.
And I have to take her to school and pick her up.
So if you can't do it, who would do it?
Sometimes my dad.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Who else raised their paddle in that? Oh, seat number 50, yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they are in daycare in the morning, and my husband and I share responsibilities. We can possibly ask our grandparents for help.
And what?
Possibly ask my in-laws for assistance.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else in that row? All right, seats 53 through 60. All right, juror in seat number 57. I'm sorry, has 52 got the, 53 has it? Sorry, I didn't see his paddle. Does he need to talk? Go ahead, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got a 90-year-old, my dad, I'm taking care of him.
Okay. Your 90-year-old dad?
Yeah.
Are you his sole, or his primary caretaker?
Yeah, I'm the only one who's taking care of him, but I mean, as long as I don't know if I get paid, but if I do, as long as I tell him where I'm gonna, like what I'm gonna be doing, not specifically just jury-duty, I think he can manage. Well, it depends how long is the case. I mean, like he can, but I just wanted to mention that.
All right, you said as long as you get paid?
No.
I'm sorry.
As long as I tell him, like, hey, I'm gonna be gone, I'm on jury duty, and just leave it like that, and so he don't worry about it, and
Okay. Does he live by himself?
I live with him.
You live with him?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Juror in seat 57. Yes, sir.
My mom is 82, and I shop for her because of the COVID situation. Her health is not very good. My sister is 50, and she lives with her 2 minor daughters. And I shop for them also because she's on a liver transplant list, and they could call her at any time for that.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. Juror in seat number 58.
I have 3 school-aged children, but one of them drives.
So would you be able to make arrangements for all 3 of them if you were sequestered for 3 weeks?
Possibly.
Okay.
My husband might be able to help a little bit.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Juror in seat number 59. Yes, ma'am. I can't hear you, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? I
Not
have
really.
2 teenage boys.
Now I can hear you. Okay, go ahead.
I have 2 teenage boys, but their father just passed a couple of weeks ago, so it's just me. So I wouldn't be able to provide any child care because I have to take them to school and take care of them.
Okay, how old are the boys?
14 and 16.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody I missed? All right. Anyone who has any physical problems that would prevent them from serving as a juror? Hearing, sight, any physical problems at all? I don't see any paddles being raised. I'm sorry. Juror in seat 53.
53. I'm legally blind, but I can hear well, but.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. If, for example, you were handed a document to read as a document was introduced into evidence, could you read it?
Unless if I bring a magnifying glass or something like that, yes. But like right now, if you cannot read it right now.
All right. Could you see a video if it was played in court?
No, if it was on a big screen, yeah.
Okay. Do you think your lack of, being legally blind would impede your ability to see witnesses?
Yeah, I think so. Depending on the distance that I am, I'm like, for example, I can see you, but I cannot see like your face. I just see like your image.
Okay.
But like if you ask me to describe you, I can't.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Juror in seat 48, I think, is raising a paddle. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I got mental issues.
I can't hear you, ma'am. You have to put the mic in front of your mouth. Still can't hear you. Tilt it.
I got mental issues.
Okay.
And I have a son in jail, and this, is becoming
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
too stressful for me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? All right. 45, I'm sorry, yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
When you said physical, I'm physically okay, but when she said mental, I suffer from depression and anxiety. Processing stress is not my key. Last time I ended up in the hospital, so that's definitely a physical reaction for me.
When you say last time, are you talking about, were you a juror before?
No, just dealing with everyday stress. My husband lost his job, just dealing with everyday things. Heightened, I don't deal with stress very well.
All right, do you think the nature of this case would cause you issues?
1,000%.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Juror in seat number 44.
A similar thing for me. I've been trying
Can't hear you. I'm sorry, what?
Been trying to deal with some anxiety problems, and this would probably not be very helpful.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Juror in seat number 8. Yes, ma'am.
I have problem with dealing with stress. So this case seems like a strong case for me to deal with.
Okay.
And also my daughter is going through depression right now. Very worried about her. I don't know if I can be able.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Somebody over here raised their paddle. 34, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I have a brother, he had heart attack and I look it up for him and I work in the night, 10 to 6:30 in the morning.
So you take care of your brother who just had a heart attack, and then you work the night shift?
Operation, the heart.
Okay. Thank you. All right, anybody else? All right, anyone, juror in seat number 46? Yes, ma'am.
I take a number of medications, and I have doctor's appointments over the next month or so that I would have to go for because of the medication. So
Are those things that you can reschedule?
no, I'm starting one of them tomorrow, so I can't reschedule that one because it's a follow-up.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? All right, jurors in seats 1 through 7, anyone who has a vacation in either October or November that is already scheduled and already paid for. Juror in seat number 2. Yes, sir.
I'm leaving on Monday to be on a vacation
For how long?
for a week.
Okay. Already paid for?
Yes.
Thank you. So Monday's what, the 18th? You'll be back when, on the 25th?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Juror in seat number 3, yes, ma'am. You have a vacation? Okay, thank you. Anybody else in that row?
I don't, but my parents do, and I'm supposed to take care of their cats.
Their cats?
Cats.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. Thanks. Jurors in seats 8 through 15. Anybody have a vacation already scheduled and paid for October or November? Juror in seat number 10. Yes, ma'am.
I have a trip booked October 22nd to the 24th to New York, paid for and booked.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Jurors in seats 16 through 22, vacation paid for, booked, 16. Yes, sir.
Hi, yes, I have a scheduled one-day vacation on October 16th, already paid for.
Just a one-day vacation?
Yes.
Where are you going?
Oh, it's on Discovery Cove.
Oh, okay.
But it was pre-planned with family.
All right, thank you, sir. Anybody else in that, juror in seat number 20? Yes, sir.
Yes, I have a vacation on the 22nd to the 25th to the Berkshires in Massachusetts, and it is paid for, the condo.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? All right, jurors in seats 23 through 30, vacation already paid for. Jurors in seats 31 through 37, juror in seat number 36. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I have two vacations, one October 30th through November 7th, fully paid for, and then November 21st through the 30th, something like that, also fully paid for.
All right, thank you, sir. Jurors in seats 38 to 45. 38? Yes, sir.
Yes, I have a trip planned November 25th until December 1st.
All right, thank you, sir. Next up, I have who? Juror in seat 40. Yes, sir.
My wife and I are going to Hawaii from October 30th through November the 5th, and then to Tybee Island, Georgia from, well, it's the week of Thanksgiving. I don't know the dates, but it's the week of Thanksgiving.
Those sound lovely. Juror in seat 43. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going on a vacation from the 18th of October to the 20th of next week.
18th to the 20th? Okay, thank you, sir. Seats 46 through 52. Juror in seat number 50.
Your Honor, I have a weekend getaway the second weekend of November.
The second weekend of November.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Jurors in seats 53 to 60. 53?
Yes, ma'am. It's not a vacation, but I'm a Christian musician. I'm going to be playing retreats. I start next week, actually, next weekend, and all the way through November.
Okay, thank you. 55?
Yes, I have a week's vacation scheduled the first week of November. To be like the 30th through the whatever that next weekend is, the first full week of November.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Juror in seat 58.
Yes, the only thing I've got is a trip booked on the 24th to the 29th of October.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody I missed? All right, work. Believe me that everyone in this courtroom understands and sympathizes with work piling up while you're in a trial. It's not a legal reason to excuse you from jury duty. However, listen carefully to my question. Is there anyone who has a work project or something going on at work that you're the only one that can do it, and it would make it impossible for you to serve as a juror in this case? Starting, let me go by rows. Well, 56, that popped up pretty quickly. So yes, what is it?
Yes, I'm responsible for negotiating $1 million contracts, and I am the director of contracts for my job. I'm so responsible for that.
So if you're not there, no one else can do it?
No one else with that responsibility.
Who do you work with, sir?
I work for Cypress Electronics.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Juror in seat 55.
Yes, I work for a small bank and I do payroll, and I have to do payroll every other week, and there's not anybody that's trained to do it but me.
What happens when you go on vacation?
I don't go on vacation when I have payroll. I also have a new employee orientation on Monday for some new employees.
Okay. The payroll at the bank, is that something you can do online?
I'd have to look into that. I'm not sure.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Somebody else popped up in the back, 47. Yes,
I own
ma'am.
my own business and do a multitude of things. It's a small business.
I'm sorry?
I own my own business.
Okay.
And do a multitude of things. It's a very small business.
Okay.
I do have an assistant who works part-time, but it's a travel agency, so it hasn't done real well in the last 18 months. So I would be paying her to do the tasks while I was here.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Juror
you.
in seat number 17. Yes, sir.
Hi, I have a project in Fiji. I have to travel there on the 1st of December.
On the 1st of December?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if that would affect this or not.
All right, thank you, sir. Juror in seat number 8. Yes, ma'am.
I'm the manager in the grocery store. So
I'm having trouble hearing you, ma'am. What?
I'm a manager in the grocery store, and I'm the only one who do receiving, writing checks, paying bills, and assess. I work for everybody, so I can't be missing that long.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else I missed? Juror in seat 23.
I'm scheduled to take my pharmacy technician exam tomorrow, and then I start a new department Monday.
So you starting a new job Monday?
I'm still employed. It's just a different department with
Oh, okay.
the building.
All right, thank you, ma'am. 37,
I do merger and acquisition work, and I have multiple transactions closing between now and the end of the year.
is that something you can do online?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is someone else going to, can someone else do it if you're not there?
They cannot. I tend to have to attend these transactions in person. Several of them are out of town. Some of them are here.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Juror in seat number 4.
The week my parents go on vacation, I actually cover for my father when he's at work, and I'm the only person who can do that. It's the week of the 23rd.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Juror in seat number 35. I saw that. Thank you, Teresa.
I'm not sure if this is related to your question or not, but I'm starting a new job Monday, and I've been out of work for several months, and the condition of my housing situation is dependent upon me starting this job. So if I don't do that, then I'll be evicted.
All right. Thank you, sir. I understand. Seat 33, I'm guessing? Yeah.
Yes, I'm a reseller and business travel. Fly the weekends, Saturday, but be back Sunday, 16 and 23. But be back 17 and be back 24.
Okay, so you're leaving when? The 16th?
16, yeah.
And you're coming back when?
No, I'm fly on Saturday. I'll be back Sunday.
Oh, okay.
That's it. The next week, the same 23. I'll be back 24.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Juror in seat 24. Yes, sir.
OTR truck driver over the road. Gone for months at a time.
All right, thank you, sir. Anybody else?
Thank you.
All right, folks. Is there anything I haven't asked you that would make it, that I just didn't think to ask you, a special problem that you have that would make it impossible for you or very difficult for you? Again, not work. Let me finish the question. To serve as a juror in this case. First row, 1 through 7. First row, 8 through 15. Juror 15. Yes, ma'am.
I'm a bridesmaid at my best friend's wedding, November 13th. It's a Saturday.
Would you say November 13th?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Juror in seat number 11.
I guess I just have a question. Is a job obligated to give you the time off if you are selected? So I'm a pharmacist. I don't like...
Well, they can't fire you for being a juror,
Okay.
if that's what you're asking me. No, that's not legal. Okay. They don't have to pay you, though. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Jurors 16 through 22. Juror number 19. Yes, ma'am.
I have school, but I can attend it online. I don't.
So you can do your school online?
I do it in person, but I have a choice to do it online.
Okay. Are you a full-time student? No. Are you part-time? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. 23 through 30. 30. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I just have one question. Are the evidence, do they bloody or killing? Because I cannot look at those things. I cannot even watch a scary movie.
I heard something about a scary movie. I'm sorry, the acoustics in this room are terrible.
Okay, I just wondering, are the evidence, the video, the picture, do they bloody or not? I cannot stand bloody thing or killing thing.
Okay, yeah, we're not at that stage, but I'll make a note about what you just told me. All right, thank you. Oh, you can't watch scary movies. Okay, I get it. All right, thank you, ma'am. 31 through 37, anybody with special issue I haven't brought up? 38 through 45. 44 and 45, let's start with 44. Yes, ma'am.
I live alone and I have a dog, so I could find arrangements for it. I would just need time to be able to do that, to have someone take care of
So you have
her.
a pet care issue. All right,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. 45? Yes, ma'am.
My job does pay me, but not for that length of time. I am the sole income earner there too, so I would only get paid for 10 days.
10 days? So the other, let's say it went the entire 3 weeks. Can you afford to pay your bills if the other 11 days are unpaid?
No.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. 46 through 52. All right, starting with 46. Yes, ma'am.
Due to having had radiation, I have a limited diet.
Okay. Thank you. Who else had their 47?
I have a work conference scheduled and paid for the week before Thanksgiving.
Your voice keeps trailing. You have a work conference.
Scheduled and paid in full. It's the week before Thanksgiving.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
51? Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor,
That's 50? Okay, 50?
Your Honor, I'm just concerned about my 2 younger children if we did have to sleep over the hotel for a long period of time.
Okay, thank you. 51?
My partner and I are in the middle of buying a house, and the closing is November 16th.
November 16th?
Correct. And I'm also self-employed, so income.
Yeah, you did tell me you have a financial issue. All right. And lastly, 53 through 60. 53.
Yeah, it's me again. It's just that for me, I mentioned, I mentioned that this case is a death penalty, and honestly, I don't feel comfortable deciding.
We're not at that stage yet, but okay, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I only ask certain questions today. When we bring you in smaller groups and individual, we ask other questions, including questions about the death penalty. Juror seat 60, did you have your, or 59? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, like I said it before.
Can't hear you, ma'am.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Like I said it before.
Nope, you got to hold the mic steady in front of your mouth. Otherwise, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Like I said it before, my kid's father just passed away a few weeks ago, so I have appointments that I can't miss pertaining to trying to get, the death benefits and doctor's appointments. I have to still try to, wrap up with that I can't miss. But
Okay.
I already have time for this month.
Got it. Thank you, ma'am. All right, folks, those are all the questions that I have for you. Why don't you all step out in the hallway for about 10 minutes? We'll call you back in just a second. Thank you. All right, let's go through this. Juror number 1 has an 83-year-old mom she splits the care with her brother. State, any issues?
No.
No objection?
Huh?
What'd you just say?
Nothing verbally. I got the impression that the brother could cover for her, so we don't have a motion.
Okay.
I agree with the state's
That was my impression, but I just wanted to check. Number 2 has a vacation from October 18th to the 25th. Leave them or strike them? State?
Move the strike, Judge.
No objection.
All right, 2 struck for vacation. Number 3, and Mr. Williams, you can remain seated through this.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You too, Ms. Miller.
Thank you, ma'am.
Seat number 3, vacation November 5th through the 8th. State?
We would move, Your Honor.
No objection.
Struck. Seat number 4, can't pay bills. This is a court strike unless there's an objection from either party.
My recollection was that she could pay her bill.
No, the one next to her is the one who can pay his bills.
All right, I had they both said yes as well.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor, I had
They
seen that.
did? All right, we'll go with they can both pay their bills, so.
Well, but back to 4 though, the other issue we had was that she had to cover for her dad.
Number 4, the cat thing
She had
and
the
her
the
dad.
pet care issue, but she was watching her parents' cats, but also she was covering for her father at his business, was my understanding, and that she was the only person who could do that.
Are you moving?
Yes, ma'am, we'll move to strike juror number 4 for cause.
Everybody thinks they're the only person who can do that. I don't think there's record evidence that that's a cause challenge as of yet.
I just don't think there's a cost challenge, but I swear this woman told me she could not pay her bills.
I wrote it down, I'll be okay, was her quote.
I have the exact, I don't disagree with
All right.
Mr. Williams' assessment.
All right, we'll leave her for now. She's going through to individual. 5 can pay bills, so going through. 6 is a strike for language unless I hear an objection. She didn't understand anything. All right, 7 is going through to individual. 8 can't pay her bills. Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No, but I do think at some point we need to put on the record that it appears, I'm not disagreeing with the court's ruling, and I understand the law. It does seem to be disproportionately affecting our minority jurors, the financial hardships. And I have not had an opportunity to research it, obviously, this morning. But my recollection is if a protected class is being disproportionately affected in a systemic way, it's a constitutionality issue. Obviously, Mr. Loyd is entitled to a jury of his peers. And because of financial hardship and the way the system is set up, we are now effectively striking almost all of the jurors who appear to be either Black or of the Latinx community or of an Asian ethnicity.
I haven't been keeping track of that. I just know that the law is I have to strike them, and I can't do.
I understand, and I think at some point I probably should put to perfect the record, and obviously it is based on appearance alone.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Juror in seat number 9 is the 3-year-old with childcare, and it would be very difficult because he coordinates with his wife. State.
He said very difficult, but he didn't say he couldn't do it. If we let everybody go who it's difficult for, then that's my position, Judge, that's our position.
Vince?
I agree with Mr. Williams.
All right, we'll make a note of that. And I'm sending juror number 9 through to individual. Juror number 10 can pay the bills, said not sure, but even if she doesn't get paid, she can pay her bills. She has a vacation the 22nd to the 24th in New York City. State.
No objection to releasing her because of the vacation.
I understand. Defense. All right, struck for vacation. Juror 11's going through. Juror 12 has her husband has 4 strokes and is dependent on her. Her English is 95%. I'm willing to strike on the husband is dependent on her.
We would move.
Okay.
Agreed.
Granted. Juror 13, husband travels for work. She has 2 teenage kids at home that she doesn't want to leave unsupervised. I'll start with the defense this time. Defense?
I would move to strike her for cause.
Mr. Williams?
I would ask that we bring her back because she specifically said at the end that she might be able to get her parents to cover.
All right, so I'll bring her to individual and instruct her to see if she can get coverage for the 2 kids. All right. 14's going through, 15's going through. Oh, no, she has a wedding on November 13th that she's a bridesmaid in.
Is she like one of those bridesmaids that people have to choose because they don't have a choice? Or
I am not going to
just
ask
kidding,
her
Judge.
that question, Mr. Williams, and I'm not going to let you ask her that question.
She
Yes?
said it was her best friend.
Did she?
Yeah,
I wasn't listening that
She said it was her best
closely.
friend's wedding, so we'd move to strike her for cause.
I'm not going on the record as ruining someone's wedding, Mr. Williams. Do you have an objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll strike her. Juror in seat 16 he's got tickets for Discovery Cove on the 16th. That's not a problem. He's going through to individual. Juror in seat 17 has a project on December 1st. He's going through to individual. 18's going through. 19 says she cannot pay her bills. Objections from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All
No,
right.
but I would note for the record, she is a black female in appearance.
All right. Juror in seat number 20, October 22nd to 25th vacation.
We move. No objection.
21's going through, 22's going through, 23 can't pay the bills. Any objections?
No, Your Honor. No, but I would note for the record, she appears to be of Latinx descent.
Of what?
Latinx, Hispanic
Oh.
female.
Yeah. Juror in seat 24, can't pay his bills. He's an over-the-road truck driver. Any objections?
No, Your Honor, white male for the record.
Thank
I'm
you.
not saying that there aren't folks that are being,
Guys, we're not going to get into this right now. Juror in seat 25 going through. Juror in seat 26 can't pay bills. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
You can put on the record that it's a white female I just struck. 27, 28, 29, all going through. 30, can't watch, oh, that's the lady that has problems with things that are bloody, and she can't pay her bills. Any objections?
No objection on the can't pay her bills.
All right. She appears to be an Asian female. I'm striking her. Juror in seat 31, she's the homeschool lady. She homeschools her 2 children. They'd be out of school for 3 weeks if she was a juror. Defense.
31?
Yep.
We move for cause.
State.
No objection.
Granted. Juror in seat 32 has a 1-month-old at home and splits childcare with his wife. Defense?
We move for cause.
No objection.
All right, I'll grant that one. 33, 60% English. Any objections on English only?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thanks.
No.
34, 70% English. Any objections on English only?
No, Your Honor.
No.
All right. 35, starts a new job on Monday, has been out of work for months, and can't pay his bills if he's not being paid. State?
No objection to releasing him for those reasons.
Defense?
No objection, noting that he's a black male.
Yep. Juror in seat 36 has a vacation from the 30th to the 7th, and then from the 20-something to the 30th, 25th to the 30th of November.
State moves for cause.
No objection.
On vacation, struck. Number 37 has mergers and acquisitions. I'm sending him through to individual voir dire.
He works for a very large law firm.
Yes, he does. I was unmoved by his plea. Number 38, can't pay his bills. Any objections from either side?
No, Your Honor.
No, noting he's a Hispanic male.
He appears to be.
In appearance alone.
Yeah. 39, going through. 40 has a vacation to Hawaii. Folks, I'm not ruining someone's Hawaiian vacation. I'm striking him. Any objections?
None.
No, Your Honor.
41, 42, going through. 43, can't pay the bills. White male, appears to be a white male. Any
No.
objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thanks. 44, suffering from anxiety, voice was cracking while she was telling me that. Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No.
All right, I'm striking her. 45, said that her anxiety and depression would be 1,000% issue in this case, is only paid for 10 days and can't pay her bills. Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Striking for both reasons. And white female on the can't pay bills. 46 has a limited diet and she has doctor's appointments she can't miss for medication that she needs. Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
47 owns her own business, can pay her bills, but then at the end she said it would be financially very difficult to do this.
She also had a work conference that was paid for.
Yeah.
We'd move to strike her for cause.
No objection.
Right, white female. And when I say that, I mean they appear to be that. 48 is the lady who says she has mental issues. Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thanks. 49, can't pay her bills. Small children. On the can't pay her bills, any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. 50, she has the 5-year-old and the 1-year-old. Possible her in-laws can take care of them. And then she has the second weekend of November, she has a vacation. You want me to send her through? Defense?
On the vacation issue, we would move. I'm
You
sorry,
move
Judge.
on vacation?
I don't have an objection to her being
All right,
struck.
all right. 51, can't pay her bills, white female.
No
Any
objection.
objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right. 52, moving through. 53, I don't even know where to start, but let's start with, he has a 90-year-old dad that lives with him, and he's legally blind, and he can't see enough to see what's going on in the courtroom. State?
No objection on the legally blind.
No objection.
All right, I'm striking. 54's already been struck. 55, she's the lady who has a vacation from the 30th to the 7th. The court is unmoved by her claims that she's the only person who can do payroll. But she does have a vacation from the 30th to the 7th.
No objection from the state to releasing her on the vacation.
Agreed.
All right, she's released on the vacation. 56, he's the gentleman that says that no one can do the contracts, and he's responsible for millions of dollars of contracts. I am not familiar with his company, so I have no idea whether what he's telling me is correct or not. Just defense?
He does have a background in finance, whatever his,
I have no doubt that the gentleman does what he says he does, and that he, is the director of finance. My question, though, is, director of contracts, I think he told me.
we'd ask that he move through to individual voir dire.
No objection.
All right, he's going through to individual. 57 takes care of her 82-year-old mom, and he's the gentleman whose sister's on dialysis, and I'm
Shops for them,
striking
no
him.
objection.
No
Yeah.
objection.
All right. 58, vacation October 24th to the 29th, I think.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right.
Any objections
No.
on vacation alone?
No, Your Honor.
All right. 59, can't pay her bills, single parent, husband recently died, or the father of the children recently died. Let me clarify what she said. Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No, noting she's a black female.
Yep. All right, and 60's going through. All right, let's call back in the ones who are going to get their dots, which is 1, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 21, 22, 25, 27, 28, 29, 37, 39, 41, 42, 52, 56, and 60. Did I miss anybody? Call those back in. Once the doors close behind them, when they're in the courtroom, release the rest of them. We're finishing with the 2 o'clocks on Monday and then moving to Tuesday at 9 a.m. Tuesday is yellow, Monday is blue. No worries. Wednesday is green. And if I use Thursday, it's orange. there a problem? We got everybody? Okay, folks, welcome back. You're all going to be called back for a second round of questioning. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving you a colored dot to put on your juror badge. The reason we're giving you colored dots is, quite frankly, there's too many of you to call you back in by numbers, so we're using colors. So we're going to give you a slip of paper with a phone number to call. We're also going to give you an exact date and time, but you can call the night before to make sure you're still supposed to be here. You're listening for your color, not your juror number, because again, there's too many people for us to call by numbers. So when I call your number, just meet these two ladies right here. Pull your badge out of those plastic wrappers because it'll go faster. They're going to give you a letter for your employer or school, your blue dot, and the slip of paper for the number that you call, and it also tells you the date and time you're coming back. All right, juror in seat number 1, you're coming back at 2 o'clock on Monday. Seat number 4, you're coming back at 2 o'clock on Monday. As soon as you're done and you've gotten your stuff, you're free to go. Seat number 5, seat number 7, 2 o'clock Monday. Seat number 9, seat number 11. Leave your paddles, please. 2 o'clock, yeah, sorry. These are all 2 o'clocks. Seat number 13, you're coming back, but I need you to check with your in-laws to see if they could assist you with your sons, so that we'll know the next time you're here, okay? Thanks. Thanks. Seat number 14, 2 o'clock. Everybody's 2 o'clock until I say otherwise. (16), 17, and 18. (21 and 22). (25, 27). 28, and 29. $37 is the last one at 2 o'clock. I'm switching to Tuesday at 9 in the morning. 39, 41, 42. This is Tuesday, 9 a.m. 52, 56, and 60, and that should be everyone. Tuesday, 9 a.m. All right, that is it for today, folks. We'll begin this process again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Court's in recess until 9 a.m. Have a good day, everybody.